the Prime Minister's visit to Jammu and Kashmir, his first since becoming Prime Minister, Mr. Modi's focus was development in the state and an important statement on the inclusive nature of Jammu and Kashmir. Across the border, though, a statement from the Pak Foreign Office that they didn't accept the status of Kashmir as a part of India.
ये सिर्फ एक रेलवे है, एक यात्रा करने की सुविधा है, ऐसा नहीं है। ये एक प्रकार से विकास की जननी बन जाती है। जम्मू कश्मीर के नागरिकों का दिल जीतना यही मेरी प्राथमिकता है और वो प्राथमिकता उसी को विकास के माध्यम से करना है, यहां के लोगों के कल्याण के माध्यम से करना है।
It was Narendra Modi's first visit to Jammu and Kashmir after becoming Prime Minister. And today Mr. Modi invoked the legacy of Atal Bihari Vajpayee by saying his mission was to win the hearts of people through the process of development. And to this end, he flagged off the 25-kilometer Katra-Udhampur train. Built at a cost of 1132 crore rupees, the line provides an alternate route to devotees going to the Vaishno Devi shrine. What Mr. Modi carefully avoided today were statements on Article 370 and the special status of Kashmir. During the election campaign, the BJP had controversially asked for a rethink on Kashmir's special status. Instead, the Prime Minister chose to focus on the all-inclusive identity of Kashmir.
एक तरफ श्री अमरनाथ यात्रा चल रही है, बड़ा पवित्र माहौल है। दूसरी तरफ रमजान का पवित्र महीना चल रहा है और तीसरी तरफ आज माता वैष्णो देवी के चरणों में भारत भर से उसके भक्तों को लाने की सुविधा प्रदान करने का एक मंगल प्रारंभ हो रहा है।
It was Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first visit to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. He spoke extensively about development, but he made it clear that he would want to carry forward the mission of Atal Bihari Vajpayee and win the hearts of the people of the state. How exactly that's going to happen is the question. In Katra with Darshan Kumar, Zafar Iqbal for NDTV.
Well, that was the Prime Minister on his visit to Jammu and Kashmir, but across the border in Pakistan, it's business as usual. The statement from the Foreign Office spokesperson, Tasneem Aslam Khan, is, we do not accept the so-called accession of the state of Jammu and Kashmir to India. Kashmir is not an integral part of India. Our position is Jammu and Kashmir is a disputed territory. We're going to be debating this. What does it actually say of where we stand between India and Pakistan at a time when the Prime Minister visits? Once again, it's that familiar language as usual. Joining us, Nalin Kohli, spokesperson of the BJP, Mr. Rashmikant of the Congress Party, still with us, Dr. Sameer Kaul, spokesperson of the PDP, Dr. Mehboob Beg, senior leader of the National Conference, and joining me now from Islamabad, Air Vice Marshal retired Dr. M. Abid Rao. Air Marshal, let me come to you first, sir. Is this what we really need to hear from Pakistan? Isn't it time for this old rhetoric to go away? Because let's face it, sir, on a day when the Prime Minister is opening railway lines and power plants and hydel plants and things like that, this rhetoric is rhetoric of the past.
Well, if I put the same question to India, what has been India's response historically? 1948, you go to UN for a resolution that asks for plebiscite. It doesn't happen till 1971, we fight a war. 71, there is similar agreement and you say make it a bilateral issue, we agree to that. India does not talk about it. 77, your Prime Minister Morarji Desai says trade first, we will resolve that issue. Pakistan agrees to that, that doesn't happen. Then in 89, India deploys its army up to 450 or 500,000 strength, which they rest there till today. We fight another war in Kargil, it doesn't work. Then Mr. Vajpayee comes to Pakistan, says let's not keep this as a core issue. Pakistan agrees to that, we ask for composite dialogue. Then for one reason or the other, that composite dialogue is stalled. Today, in my view, Pakistan stands at the same place where we were in 1948. You are saying it is a toot ang of India. We are saying it is not. We call it a disputed territory. Now, if it has to be resolved, if Mr. Manmohan Singh in his last year of the rule says that he was very close to a solution with Pervez Musharraf, whatever reason that didn't work, That means India in the heart recognizes this issue, that this is a problem which needs attention.
No, but sir,
for 67 years.
Air Marshal, I
Yes.
understand the importance of the historical context that you're placing this in. But on this program, we've got Dr. Mehboob Beg of the National Conference. We've also got Dr. Samir Kaul of the PDP.
Yes.
Both of them are Kashmiris and both of them are Indians. To them, the issue
Yes.
is of peace between India and Pakistan. The issue is not of Kashmir being disputed. Dr. Beg, would you like to come in?
Yes, please. I would like to. We have accepted this. We have always said that it's an issue which has to be sorted out between India and Pakistan. That's our official position as well. But having said that, we the mainstream people, we are very clear about it. We want to sort out things with Government of India within Indian Union. When I say that, I think Prime Minister on his first visit, well, he talked about development, which is very good. But we can't wish away the entire Kashmir. There was a shutdown. We have to address the internal dimensions. There is political alienation, and we have to address that internally. When I say that, there has been a resolution unanimously passed by JK Legislative Assembly saying that restoration of autonomy should take place. And recommendations of the committees which were nominated by the Prime Minister and which again endorse the same thing. We have problems internally which we want to sort out with Government of India. And in that connection, I think Prime Minister was very clear. He said that while he talked about the development, he also said that he wants to pursue Mr. Vajpayee's mission. And so far as we understand Vajpayee's mission, he had almost clinched the issue with General Musharraf, which we say as 4-point formula. And I think we should carry that forward and hope that the relationship between the two countries develops for good, because in the relationship between two countries, we the people of Jammu and Kashmir, if we have good relationship between the two countries, it's very good for people of Jammu and Kashmir. But if there is any hostility or hatred between the two countries, it affects us the most.
Okay.
So we hope that both countries, when Prime Minister took over, he invited all SAARC leaders, including Prime Minister of Pakistan, and even credit goes to him. He talked about good relationship with Government of India. That's what we want.
Nalin Kohli, why don't you come in over here? One of the aspects of the Prime Minister's visit is in fact what he didn't say. He didn't talk about 370. He didn't talk about the status of Jammu and Kashmir. During the election campaign, that's something that had been raised. What is the message that the Prime Minister was actually trying to send out by not raising Article 370 and the status of Jammu and Kashmir?
Well, I think the Prime Minister made himself amply clear that he was here to win the hearts of people through development. And I think that's the need of the hour across the country, because the vote in the Lok Sabha elections has been exactly for this, a vote for hope, a vote for development. However, I do have a few additional comments to make. The Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, was in India. So I really don't see why somebody from Pakistan should be getting so excited about commenting on it. And I do disagree with him that nothing has changed between 1948 and now. A lot has changed in Pakistan. It's almost a terrorist state. At least all the major terrorists in the world seem to be living there. Osama bin Laden was executed not very long ago. And we do know about the Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jamaatul Dawa, a lot more. And additionally, it's a state that seems to have progressed. I remember in the 70s and 80s, people telling me that you visit Islamabad or visit Pakistan, they have better cars than us, they are better doing. Today, they need external help to get their economy going. So I think what has not changed in Pakistan is the mindset. The world has moved ahead, but they are stuck in history. Perhaps, if they work in the present and they look at the future, they may also have something to share exciting and positive to their own people. In the meantime, we don't need to really worry about Pakistan and its internal affairs. The government of India is committed to the people of India, and the people of India from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from Kutch to Kohima are looking forward to becoming a superpower and also a developed country under the government of today and the governments of the future.
Okay. Air Marshal Rao, do you want to reply to that? You're living in the past. That's the point that Nalin Kohli, the spokesperson of the BJP, is saying.
Every nation has a past, and some of the issues cannot be dropped only by advice to look into the future. Let me tell you, all these wars that we've had between India and Pakistan are based on basic conflict of Kashmir. 65 war was there, and last was the Kargil one, which didn't work the way it may have worked. Now, India should not close their eyes and not look away. By talking of development, it does not make an integral part of India. By deploying 450,000 strong army, it proves one thing, that there is a problem that Indian government feels inside.
So the
by
problem
killing over 100,000
terrorism
people
from Pakistan, sir. It's a well-established fact.
Let me just complete. Don't worry about Pakistan's economy. We will get out of this. We had a standard of living that we will try to maintain.
Okay.
That is our internal problem. That does not reduce the reliance of Kashmir to Pakistan. Let me also tell you one thing, that you are pushing Pakistan to an extent that the only solution to Kashmir is a military option. And the day Pakistan gains that kind of differential power,
so we've seen that military option has not Sir, that military option has not worked very well in your favor, sir, in the past.
May I just answer this, Vishnu?
So 4 wars, sir, it's not worked for you, sir. Why do you assume that that is an option now?
Vishnu, may I just answer this?
That will always, it is a question of time. Today it may not be, but you know, you cannot rule out that kind of conflict. The diplomatic efforts haven't worked. India has not honored any promise regarding Kashmir, leave alone others. We trusted Mr. Morarji Desai.
Don't you believe, a military option for Pakistan would be disastrous yet again?
Vishnu,
isn't it better?
It will not be a piece of cake for India either.
Look, so let me just put it frankly, we have an ex-air marshal speaking. I mean, he's a military man. That country has had less democracy than it has had dictatorship. So, I mean, you don't expect them to speak
democracy. We are looking after ourselves very well.
I heard you, Air Marshal, and I don't like being interrupted either. So, I mean, let's go ahead. And actually, with regard to Pakistan's economy, I have no personal interest in it, and I don't think the Bharatiya Janata Party has a stand on it. Let them take care of the economy. I only pointed out what is the reality. And the final issue is Kargil also. We know exactly what happened. As far as India is concerned, our interest is development for each and every Indian. That includes everybody. And I'm repeating myself, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Kutch to Kohima. I really don't have a point of view, and actually don't see also any reason in getting down into a propaganda machine from Pakistan, trying to put across a stand that everyone in the world has heard. We are not sending anybody.
Nalin, I get your point,
They need to fight their own battles in Pakistan, whether it's Waziristan, whether it's Baluchistan. It's really not our concern. We'll take care of our people.
Nalin, I just want to bring in Mr. Rashmikant of the Congress Party. Let's focus a little bit more on the Prime Minister's visit over here. He spoke about development. He kicked off a train project. He said he intended to carry on the legacy of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. It's been welcomed by the National Conference. Is this the right way for the Prime Minister to have begun dealing with Kashmir on the ground?
I personally think it was a very, very good beginning. I think this sentence that I just heard there, Ramzan ka pavitra mahina, sends a very, very, very good signal to the state of Jammu and Kashmir that it is not the government, it is the people of India who are with you. In fact, the people in India often accuse the governments, various governments, of pampering the state of Jammu and Kashmir. I am consciously mentioning the state of Jammu and Kashmir and not Kashmir. Let me just, you'll have to give me 2-3 minutes because
Go ahead.
The Air Marshal talked about the fact. He laid certain made certain allegations. He started with 1948. I think he's suffering from selective amnesia. One of the things in 1948 was that Pakistan had to vacate every single inch of the territory of state of Jammu and Kashmir before something like a plebiscite could be held. That is history now. You know that a nation cannot be built on the basis of religion. You know what happened in forget 1965. I don't think you should forget what happened in 1971. We had 90,000 prisoners of war. Your Prime Minister at that time committed to the Indian Prime Minister that please let me go home with a face saver. Hang on, let me complete, because he cannot afford to, he cannot be allowed to go with the lie.
We've challenged him enough on that particular issue. I want to turn the focus, because we are running out of time, a little bit more on what the Prime Minister had to say today. And I wanted to bring in Dr. Sameer Kaul, spokesperson of the PDP, who's been waiting patiently. Do you also welcome what the Prime Minister had to say today? Do you believe that this is a good start for Jammu and Kashmir with a new Prime Minister?
Of course, he made all the right noises. And I think alluding to Vajpayee ji and talking about linking hearts of people of India and Kashmir, it can be called nothing but a good beginning.
Okay.
But these are, and I think he talked about development, and let's hope that the development in the future will extend to Kashmir. It will extend, for instance, to the Banihal, Kazigund and the Banihal Udhampur rail link also, because let them also have the fruits of the so-called development that we are bringing forth. So to that extent, we welcome it, and the fact that it's a paradox, and that hasn't changed, that he was addressing people in Jammu and Kashmir, but there was a background of a hartal, and even the Jama Masjid in the month of Ramazan couldn't allow devotees in because the downtown was shut off. So to that extent, apart from that Vajpayee ji's single maiden speech where he said sab kuch karenge insaniyat ke daire mein, or and went off and into roaring 30,000-40,000 people in the middle of a Maidan, that is not there. But he's been talking about the same philosophy. To that extent, we welcome it and we hope. But the problem in Jammu and Kashmir is developmental. I agree with everybody around here, but it is also political. And like my friend, and I think for a change we are on the same page, Dr. Beg and me, from the National Conference, let me be on the same page and let me agree to the fact that there is an internal dimension to the problem and there is an external one, which I will address to my friend across the border, Abid ji. Now, the internal dimension means we have problem in Kashmir about bad governance at the moment, which hopefully the people will set right in the coming months when the new election comes. But apart from that, the fruits of good governance and development must reach the bottom, which it has not been happening for a long period of time. And there is a political discourse to it. And I think he talked about it when he said about Vajpayee and he said about linking hearts. It means he is going to keep his eyes and ears and hopefully the heart open to the people of Jammu and Kashmir, the youth of Jammu and Kashmir. What do they want? What are their aspirations? Why are they angry? Because they are angry. Had they not been angry, there wouldn't have been a hartal or a shutdown. Now that is our internal dimension and an internal problem which does need to be set right. Okay. As far as the external dimension is concerned, I come from a party which had a maximum stake in peace across the line of actual control. The Srinagar-Muzaffarabad road or the Punch-Rawalakot bus route. We understand fully the fruits of peace across the international border. It has tremendous consequences for our people, particularly in the border districts, and it throws their lives into complete tizzy and turmoil, and they really go through tragic circumstances. My request to Abid ji across the border is not to talk about war and not to talk about military options. This is an age of sitting across the table, and we must talk to each other because it's about conflict resolution.
And hopefully there is a start to that process which has happened. I think it's important to see what happens when the Prime Minister meets his counterpart on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly session. Mr. Rashmikant, I know you had a point to make. I'm terribly sorry we are out of time. I'm told to wrap this program at this stage, but an important visit, no doubt, of the Prime Minister to Jammu and Kashmir. What actually happens in terms of development on the ground beyond the rhetoric? We've heard a lot of that today. What about long-term change, employment? Those are the key issues in Jammu and Kashmir. I'd like to thank all of you for joining.